Welcome back. Lino Mudo is off today. But in today's health, Uganda had the third highest number of new HIV infections in Sub-Saharan Africa last year, reversing its reputation for successfully tackling the epidemic in the 1990s. Although the percentage of people living with HIV and AIDS is still half of what it was in the 1980s, the increase in new infections is worrying to health workers. Serginho Roosblad reports from Kampala.
Billboards across Kampala warn of the dangers of unprotected sex. But the Ugandan AIDS Commission says the country has the third highest number of new HIV infections in Sub-Saharan Africa. Health officials say one of the reasons is that Uganda has become a victim of its own success, especially after the introduction of antiretroviral drugs.
I think what came in is complacence. People got satisfied that once you're on medication, you'll be all right. And people began saying that, HIV is like any other disease. So the fear not to, get it and vanished.
Uganda had received international praise for dropping its virus prevalence rates from 15% at its peak in 1991 to 7.3% today. But the risk remains and is growing among people like 30-year-old Joyce.
I wanted to go to school, so this guy was dating me, so I think I became so reckless with my life. I had life sex with him. I think that's where I got HIV from. That's where I remember. AIDS
activists say people are not making use of the simplest ways to protect against HIV, a condom.
We would say that about 35 to 40% of people who should use condoms are not using them.
The Ugandan government is responding to the spike in new cases by creating an HIV/AIDS trust fund to finance a campaign against complacency.
So we believe that as a parliament, by creating this HIV and AIDS trust fund, where us Ugandans are going to contribute towards this levy, I believe it is going to help us to reach out to those people that we may not have reached out to.
Funding has been an issue in recent years, leading to a shortage in HIV testing kits and other protective devices, especially when donor money runs dry.
We have continued to depend on the donors for supply of condoms in the country. So once the supply is a shortcut, then it means that the population doesn't have the condom for protection.
Joyce, who has been living with HIV for 5 years, hopes these measures will help, but says all is not lost for those with the virus.
The best medicine for HIV is acceptance. The more you accept your status, the more you live longer.
Serginho Roosblad for VOA News, Kampala, Uganda.